Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews. I'm here to do a review of the Tamil film Ponniyin Selvan, directed by Mani Ratnam. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. All right, for some reason my first recording got all garbled, so let's try this again. Mani Ratnam is probably my favorite film director of all time, of any industry, Hollywood, whatever. He has made so many masterpieces. So expectations for this film, sky high. I was very excited to score first day, first show IMAX tickets, which tickets were sold out here days in advance. So it was amazing to see this film on the IMAX screen with a full theater. This novel by Kalki Krishnamurthy is considered the masterpiece of Tamil literature. It was originally serialized over, I think, 4 years in a magazine in the 40s and early 50s. And it was optioned, I believe, by a film director in the 50s. And Savitri and Gemini Ganesan were attached to the project. That never came to be. Mani Ratnam, this is his dream project, and he's been wanting to make this for decades. He originally almost got it made with Vijay and Mahesh Babu in the roles that Karthi and Vikram are playing now, which would have been a very different feeling film. Kamal Hassan was helping him write that adaptation, and he did get a thank you credit at the beginning of this film. Now, this film, they started filming in 2019, and it had many delays and issues with COVID, as so many of these big films did. So it's been eagerly awaited for years. An amazing, unbelievable cast. There were various changes over time. Vijay Sethupathi originally was attached to it, Kirti Suresh, Anushka Shetty. There was all different people who had been attached, but it's still an amazing cast. You have Karthi, you have Vikram, you have Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, you have Trisha, Jayam Ravi, Prakash Raj. The list goes on and on and on. This film was written by Mani Ratnam, adapting the original novel with Elango Kumaravel and B. Jayamohan. So I'm going to just be honest up front and say that I have kind of mixed feelings about this film because I have never read the original novel, the original work that this is based on. And I know it is a beloved book. I have a friend whose grandson's middle name is based on a character from this book. So I know it is hugely influential. Everyone knows these characters. Problem is, I don't. So it is based on real life kings and court intrigue, from hundreds of years ago. So it was confusing and difficult for me in the beginning parts of this film because there's so many characters. What a challenge to adapt a novel that's 2,000 pages long or something like that, and try to fit in. I looked at the Wikipedia entry for the book before I went to see the movie. I'm like, oh my God, because it listed at least 15 or 16 main characters. I'm like, oh my God. So there's just a lot and it's court intrigue. So you're trying to figure out, wait, how this person is related to this, what? It was a lot for me to kind of absorb it in. I will say, at times it felt a little slow for me because I just was confused on what was going on. Now, there's amazing action scenes. The music, A.R. Rahman, are you kidding me? And the background score, amazing. For me, the film really took off. The last hour or so had great action sequences and just was like a rip-roaring adventure at the end. Once I kind of had my hands around who all these people were, but it took me a long time to get to that point. I feel like Karthi stole the movie. He probably had the most screen time of any characters, sort of as he visits different people in different kingdoms. He's introducing us to different characters during his journeys in the first half of the film, and he's just so charming. He's like this lovable rogue. Oh, anytime he was on screen was a delight. He has some of the funniest, he has funny scenes, he has fun action scenes. Vikram has some incredible action battle sequences, and then some super intense emotional scenes. Wow. Aishwarya Rai, it was delightful to see her on screen, and she's playing kind of a dark character. We don't completely know what her motivation is. She's against our main characters, and so I think we'll know more about that. We had some flashbacks on Vikram's side, his interactions with her in the past, but I think we'll get more. This is only part 1. We're going to get part 2. The film is almost 3 hours long, and like I said, I just have mixed feelings about it. And I also never thought I would say this about a Mani Ratnam film, but some of the camera work was really difficult for me because the camera was moving so much. It was like a handheld style. Like, for instance, the emotional speech that I mentioned that Vikram gave, the camera was moving so much and weaving and bobbing in that scene that it was too much for me. It was too much. And I never thought I would say anything like that about a Mani Ratnam film. I really am curious if you've seen this film and you've read and loved the books. To me, how you felt. Were you satisfied? Did you feel like it included everything that they needed to include from the books? I'm wondering what had to be cut and left on the floor when you're talking about 2,000 pages. To me, it seems similar to something like The Lord of the Rings, where they had to stretch these books over, three movies and whatever, because there's just so much there. I know my husband is a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings books, and so he was definitely looking for, did they include this character? Did they include this scene? Did, all of that kind of stuff when he was going to see those films, and he wanted to see the extended, 4-hour long versions of the films the uncut, like, oh my God. So I'm wondering, could this, I guess because of the scale of this and the huge naval battles and the huge action scenes and whatever, maybe it could not have been done as a miniseries. And I don't know if they could have financed it and done something with Netflix or whatever. Like, maybe this is just the way it had to be, and Mani Ratnam does films, and, this is what it is. But it's like, what a struggle to take something so large of scope and try to, even 2 movies, it's a lot to try to fit in. I admire taking on such a huge project. I can see why this was a dream project. I'm just saying, I'm wondering, is it really made for people who already love the books? Is it harder to connect? Like, maybe if I see this film a second time, I will be able to know kind of who everybody is and appreciate early scenes more. I don't know. But I'm still anxious to see part 2. I loved being in this crowd, seeing it first day, first show. I'm just being completely honest that with my expectations being way up here, I don't know, I wanted to come in here and just say unabashedly that I love it. And I'm kind of mixed. There's parts of it that I absolutely do love, especially like the scope of some of the action scenes on the boats and everything, and towards the end, wow. So I absolutely loved all the chase sequences with Karthi, but I have some caveats and not just pure unadulterated love. So I will say this is a film that you need to see on the big screen. It does have a streaming partner, Amazon Prime. I'm sure it will be coming soon to streaming, but you need to go and see it now. You need to see it on the big screen and experience it with a crowd. It was interesting who got applause. I was whooping and hollering for A.R. Rahman and Mani Ratnam's name, and then Aishwarya Rai, when she came on screen for the first time, she got quite a few whoops and hollers from my audience as well. So, and it did get applause at the end of the film, and it was just fun being in a theater and hearing all the buzz at the end as everybody was walking out. So, I really want to know, if you're a lover of this book and you saw it, were you satisfied? Please let me know in the comments. How did you view this film? And also, if you were not familiar with the book, just like me, were you also confused in the beginning parts? Was it as hard for you kind of to get your arms around as it was for me to kind of figure everything out? Let me know if you also struggle with this film, or if you just had pure enjoyment. I really would love to know your perspective on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Follow me on Instagram at Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell here when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.